the other one?
String cheese. Exactly, string cheese off the wrestling floor.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, everyone, welcome to the city council meeting for Monday, February 3rd. I'll open up public comments for matters on the agenda.
Susie, did you want to do your?
Well, I'm not sure, do you want me to wait until you bring up the museum part, or do you want me to
Well, since you're number 2, we could roll right into that.
go for it?
I didn't know if your thing was about this one that David T had on there or if it was something else.
I guess I don't know if the team was up to you, should I?
On the back of the packet, there should be
On the back of the agenda. Oh, you didn't get a packet?
Is there another one up there? I didn't know how many I needed, so.
on the back of the first page. And the city council.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
There's not one up here. Okay.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Hey, you can have mine.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, sure. You got it?
You should know.
did it not copy?
Okay. So, I do apologize. Dave did not share this information with the rest of us, so I'm not privy to everything he's got going on there.
Okay.
So we did do, as part of the tourism grant, we joined in with the Libby Museum and the Eureka Museum, and they submitted everything back in December. Basically, we did this a year ago, but we didn't get the grant. It was for all Lincoln County. Sherry Turner with the Libby Museum put in word a second time, and we had to just basically state that we were wanting to be part of the 5-year project. That way it included us with any grant. And that project is actually listed as one of, something similar is listed with my letter in regards to that grant. So, and then I was also going to question with the museum equipment down there, the mining equipment. You know, we were told that it was going to be sandblasted. I know that the guys are very busy, so I'm not too sure where that sits. And I believe we were told that there was like a $500 grant that someone had put in for that as well, and Chuck was going to check with it, but then I never heard back from Chuck.
Was that,
It was from Mita, I think, wasn't it?
It's been like 3 years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
And there was like so many hoops you had to jump through to get the $500 grant that we kind of like.
Did they not give us the money for it? Oh. I thought it was supposed to. I was only involved in that beginning of
Yeah.
it, so I didn't know how the.
It's been a long
That
time ago,
one,
but I
but,
remember
yeah.
like, yeah, there was a ton of hoops and.
Yeah, it's just $500.
Yeah, for $500, I think we kind of just like, it's not really worth it for all the work that we have to go through, so.
Okay. So I will try to outsource for some funding for that this year for that. Part of our 5-year plan though was to include covered track 40 to 50 area for the display of the mine cart, the mine track air compressor, and a short 30-foot section of gauge track. And the gauge track would need to match the wheels of the cart and the air compressor, of course. We were told to contact Libby I can't, where, the industrial area up there.
Oh, the port?
The Port Authority.
Yeah, because they have multiple different sets of track gauge up there too, so we're just trying not to put everything ahead of us ourselves, because if we did get it, then, or if we didn't get it, then we'd have to find another source of it, so. Anyways, that was part of a 5-year grant, and of course, I was explaining that a couple of years ago, a tree had fallen down and hit the little building that the cart was under, and it hit the FB Callow building a little bit. But I don't know, at the time Tracy said that it didn't match MMIA's insurance.
Didn't meet the
for us to
deductible.
To redo the little covering.
Okay.
So that's also part of our, my 5-year plan.
Does it get that replaced?
Yes, because we do want to put that all under some kind of a,
I think doesn't Hecla have some kind of display, rock display up there that Dallas talked about years ago? Has there been any, I know we talked about possibly getting that, or,
well, last year I was basically told that we could not do anything until after budget, and then budget happened, and so that's where we're sitting right now. I mean, we couldn't even spend our grant money that we had. I was told we couldn't spend anything at all. So, that's why my carpet or my, some of my stuff just hasn't gotten ordered yet,
okay,
so.
all right. If you have it budgeted. Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
and, well, we had our 1,500 in there, and then we were told we had to wait until after budget to, again, to approve that. I don't know all the details of that.
Okay.
We didn't-
okay, just get with Paula and double check what you have in there.
Yeah, I have, I've got
Okay,
that. We're moving now.
perfect. No?
So that's all separate from what Dave was asking
I
about?
think that Dave
Different, yeah.
submitted everything to you guys without talking to me first.
Yeah.
That's what happened. Yeah. So,
Do you want to talk with Dave?
yes, I'm gonna talk to Dave.
Okay. All right. Anything else? All right. Appreciate that. So we do have some letters of interest for our housing committee, which we need to kind of come up with a game plan with that, set how many people we want to be on that at the next business meeting, kind of talk about an agenda and get the ball rolling on that officially, so that way we can get going on that project. I think we kind of threw Jesse under the bus already to head that up. No, we do appreciate your volunteering. Does anyone have any questions or comments on that?
Did we have a deadline put out for that? That was
For the
end of
letters,
the month?
I think it was-
January?
end of January,
Yeah.
yeah, so we have.
And so we had 3 total, correct?
3 sounds like a wonderful number to have on there.
3 seems like
No.
like a very functional size.
Yes.
3 plus. That's-
Doesn't sound like it'll be death by committee.
So do we need to take action on that today, or?
No, we just gotta talk about our plan and then vote the members on at our business meeting. We can't vote tonight since it's just our work meeting. So. Anyone have anything else on that? All right. So audit. This is all Paula. Yeah.
So, get to that page. I'll get there eventually. She was able to, Nicole Noonan, was able to submit them, or submit the audit. I didn't think she did it till Saturday, but anyway, it shows on here. Oh, no, it doesn't. It just shows that it's submitted. She had a question. One of her questions was just on the inventory, the electric inventory, because she had the, of course, the numbers from the previous time were from when Clint was here?
Yeah.
Okay, and then we had to redo it because all of that stuff had exploded in pricing, so it was redone for that. I think what she said in her emails and how she submitted it, she went with her numbers, not what Clay had, so it's submitted. At least that's done. We'll figure out the inventory, what impact that has. Going forward, I guess.
She went with her numbers, not what?
What was the difference roughly? Do we
It
know?
was
So
quite
when
a-
the Alliance started, the transformers were like $800 a pop. And then COVID hit and everything ran crazy. Now they're at $4,000 for a transformer.
Yeah.
Roughly, I mean, they
It's
vary.
$3,200 a transformer.
And so I changed our inventory, not for what it was bought for, but for what its replacement value was. Because if I've got to buy one to replace something, that's the cost it's costing us. And so our inventory went from like $1.4 million to like 2.3 or something like that.
So $900,000.
Yeah, because we have to keep inventory because not one transformer fits every location. So I've got a dock of everything down there, plus poles, plus wire, and so, I mean, nuts and bolts. A bolt's $5 for me. So, like, it adds up quick, and that's what I guess what it was. I mean, everything shot up during COVID, so.
Is that what she needed, replacement value, or?
That's what I was told to do it as. So, I mean,
Yeah.
if there's a different number, I mean, I don't know, but that's what I was told as.
And I think that was something she said in her email was that, you know what, it's probably replacement value, but
That's weird, like all my inventory at my store, it's not replaceable value, it's what I paid for it.
Yeah.
It's cost of goods sold, it's what I paid for that, that's what I'm taxed on. So that's a big inflated number between replaceable value and what it was purchased at, as far as if we, I mean, I would say as a city, we don't pay taxes, but still, the value,
Yeah.
and that's really old, that's very Donald Trumpy overinflating right there. We don't want to get in trouble. That just seems very interesting that it would be replaceable value, not purchased price.
Well, it is a purchase value now because I purchased.
But our inventory isn't future purchase, it's what we have.
Well, that's when I buy it, I upgrade our inventory list on the current price of what I'm buying something for. So like if I gotta buy a transformer tomorrow and I call and get a quote, if it's $500 cheaper, I change my inventory to what that number is at that moment. Because that's a current price of what I'm buying it for. Like we don't make any money when I sell to a customer who wants an install. It's the cost of what it is, so.
Not the cost of what you purchased it at.
Well, that's the purchase. I mean, I'm purchasing and that's the cost of the inventory. So.
You don't have any transformers still sitting there that were purchased when Clint was here for $800?
Oh, I went through a lot of stuff, so.
Anything else, Paula?
And then I just added in there the stuff on the AFR. So the AFR was submitted, I got that submitted today, so the information about it is in there. The fee for just doing AFR is, for us, is $1,300. So that'll be due at the end of February. But yay, it's done. It's submitted.
Good job. So moving on to wastewater project, I think council's pretty much up to date on what's going on with our wastewater project, so just to recap, our bids came in and the engineer's estimate was $650,000 lower than what the next lowest bidder on the project list was, and then it went up from there significantly. So we did look at some additional means of financing for our sewer system. I did talk with Ward, I did talk with our engineer. Basically, our proposal for our wastewater system is kind of the bare bones minimum, and it's all critical that we do all the work on there. So we were not able to cut anything out of the project and try to lower down how much money that we'd possibly go out and get. For that, Montana does have a revolving fund program for projects like this, which we do qualify for through the state, and it is up to 49% of loan forgiveness at 2.5% interest rate. So currently, Chris Hayes had one of their staff run the numbers on what we have for current services, which is 515 services, and at a bare minimum, if we went out and if we weren't able to get the 49% and finance it at 20 years, we would have to look at a minimum of a $5 rate increase. And that was a $10 rate increase, and if we did get 50% loan forgiveness, 49%, we'd get a $5 rate increase that we'd have to do to be able to cover that loan. He is actually looking into combining our existing loan with this loan to see what our options are, whether we can combine them, get a better interest rate, lower payment rate, something like that. I have not heard back from Chris. I did hear back from him late Friday, that we are above the required combined target rate for the state of Montana. So our rate is not below that target rate. So we do qualify for that loan. That's one other hurdle that we have to have in place. And excuse me, there are a couple of things that will throw a wrench into this project and have to probably go out and do a little rebidding. But versus the ARPA money, it was Buy American Act, and if we use Montana State Revolving Fund, we have to comply with American Iron and Steel, Montana State and Davis-Bacon wage rates versus the federal Davis-Bacon wage, which is Montana's probably higher anyways. And then EEO, affirmative action, maybe WEBE, meaning small contractor, subcontractor solicitation, and then having a project signed. So our overall cost of the project, just by meeting those, may go up some. Chris has not heard back from the contractor yet that I know of what that cost increase may be to meet those requirements for the Montana State Revolving Fund project. But Ward and I did talk a little bit more about this, and right now our sewer project, I think at the end of last year we had around $65,000 in our reserve fund, which isn't anything. If you looked at the bid and one of the 8-inch valves is $30,000 to be able to put into that project, and we're one catastrophe away from something very significant. And we probably need to start looking at doing a rate increase to a point to where we're actually starting to build a reserve quicker than what we have been. Our water is in the same boat as it is. Historically, for decades, the previous people sitting on this side of the table has been very conservative on doing rate increases by doing the bare minimum, and we're now seeing the effects of bare minimum rate increases by having no reserve and having to go out and get financing for a project that is much needed. And so over the next few months, we'll start to explore that. I was on a call last Friday with Chris and ARPA, and we have to use all of our ARPA money by the end of the year. So we have time to get our Montana revolving funds in place to where we can finish out the project and pay for it. But we have to spend our ARPA money first. That's a state requirement. So that gives us time, because we do have to do a rate increase, and then we have to do public hearings on that. It's about I think a bare minimum of 90 to 100 days, depending on how everything falls within the calendar. So it's by no means a quick process, but we will have to do that. So.
Probably need to get on that sooner than later.
Yes, I'm still waiting to hear back from Chris because we're $650,000 short from the next bid, that doesn't leave us contingency. And then if they have to go out and the bid goes up for this, we may be asking for more, but we do qualify for a 49% loan forgiveness for that. So if we ask for 800,000, we'd be roughly financing 400,000. So.
Yep.
Let the fun times begin. Moving on, public comments for matters not on the agenda.
Do we have, the ordinance that we put in place regarding the snow plowing, like the parking on city right-of-ways? That went into effect, correct?
I never voted on
We
it.
didn't? Mike Patty was asking, the guy from the head of the road department was wanting to put up signs on the highway so that they can plow and not have cars parked congested.
Oh, on the
like-
highway?
Yeah, especially the, by Town Pump and the school, all the cars that are parked right there, makes it hard for them to plow.
Well, that would still be state versus city, so our ordinance wouldn't cover that. We did that.
Cover that, yeah.
Because that's highway, so it'd be their jurisdiction.
Okay. The head guy is saying that they needed approval from us to do that, so.
I don't think so.
All right, I'll pass
Travis
that along.
did for taking the signs down out there. Because Travis is the head guy for the state, he's the one that removed the signs along the
Okay.
highway.
Yeah.
So,
All right, I'll pass it along.
yeah,
Put them up.
yeah. Or push them out of the way.
Don't park in between these hours.
Yeah.
Pretty simple.
Yeah, that would be on the state, so.
Okay.
Yep.
And then, what is his name? That came in about the flags. Justin, about the flag. He came to my store on Friday and asked if we were moving forward with asking the school or whatever the plan was about the city flag.
Oh, yes, design of the city flag, yes, so, I guess what are your guys' thoughts on having a contest for the,
I think it'd be a great idea.
yeah,
Have Jeannie Palmer's art class or something, or the whole school, I'd do it.
okay. I will coordinate that through my wife. So,
Okay.
she can't yell at me right now, she has no voice, so. Slowly coming back though, I'm sure there's a list, so.
Yeah. It's backed up.
Yeah, it's backed up. Yes. Any other comments? No. Just one thing, we did do an interview last week for one of the officers. We had 2 candidates that we were going to interview. One guy did not. He wasn't able to make it. He got stuck up in Eureka with the snowstorm. So we're trying to reschedule that now, but we do have one. I did contact Bob to let him know that we do have one candidate to get qualified for the police commission, so he will get that done. And once we hear back from that, we will move forward. So the candidate did a very good job with the interview.
Yeah, yeah.
So Scott,
Be a good
Levi,
fit.
Travis, and I did the interview on that. So yeah. And he is ready to go. So, so Ben Kibbe, Linda Rodriguez, and then Bob Henson.
Bob.
Peterson, I'm sorry. Yes. So we'll do that. So,
And then when's Michael's last day?
do we have Michael's last day? Yeah.
No, I just asked him the other day, he hasn't heard from MHP when he's supposed to be heading out. So he was gonna try to stay here as long as, probably, I think he said to the end of the month.
Okay.
I thought it was March, something in March.
Well,
Tentatively.
yeah, I think, well, he thought that the academy was the beginning of March, so he kind of, somewhere around the end of February, but he said he hadn't heard anything back yet, so.
Let's see if we can double check on that and then let me know as soon as possible, because then we can
Get that-
plan accordingly.
Yeah, get things moving forward.
All right, nothing else? We'll adjourn the meeting. Thank you, everyone.
Yes, please, record.
Yeah.